Hi everyone, I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, Stitching on the Rock. We are at episode number 48. Hello everyone, welcome to new subscribers. I've had a few in the last couple of days. If you've joined me from someone else's FlossTube, could you let me know in the comments? Because unless I happen to watch or they mention me in their description, I don't know, but I'd like to thank them and thank you for coming to check me out. I'm about 12 people away from 600 and I'm 2 episodes away from number 50. So I'd love to get those 2 numbers to meet. And I was contacted by a lovely lady who offered a couple of her designs for giveaways. And since I just did some on my whip parade in the last video, I thought if I could get 600 subscribers by my 50th episode, that would be a great time to give another giveaway. Thank you to anyone who watched, liked, commented, asked a question, entered the giveaway on my whip parade, offered me a happy Flossiversary. Can't believe it's been 2 years. Wow, time flies. I'm a few days late from my regular one because I wanted to give a bit of space between my whip parade and this one, and I wanted to give some chance for other people to look at the whip parade. I know a lot of people are busy like I've been. Yeah, been busy. You know, a couple of appointments in the last week or so. Aaron has had a couple of tests. Winter finally arrived. We had 30 centimeters a couple of days ago, so I've been shoveling. All of those things led up to this being off my 3 weeks, and I'm really going to try to get back onto a schedule now that the new year is here and everything is hopefully calming down. I took a picture from my front porch of our snow. I'm going to stick it up. We've been really lucky, knock on wood. This is our first really big snowfall of the winter. No, I'd like to believe it's our only one, but in Newfoundland, we could have 30 centimeters in May. Who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna grab my notes. I've got a full page full. And the stitching, there hasn't been a lot of stitching, but the totals here are from my last regular video, because I didn't give any totals in my whip parade of anything. So first up, we'll start with the most recent one I've worked on, which was yesterday and the day before, and that was, oh, I forgot my pictures of what they're supposed to look like. I will put pictures up. It's easier for me to do that way. So first up is Mini Hometown Hero Baseball by Donna Gelsinger for Heaven and Earth Design. Stitched 1/1 and sapphire blue even weave, and in the last couple of days I've got, oh, my needle is still attached. We'll take that off. 539 stitches, and I am at 5.49%. So here's where we are, and I have stitched all of the brown and the black up there. And that's that one. I've set a goal for most of the ones that were under 5% to get 10% done for by the end of the year. So someone asked me if I had goals. I told her I set goals, but I don't usually keep them. So I've put percentages down. You know, if I get to them, I'll be thrilled. Yeah, so 5.49%. I'm probably going to work on this one if I get a chance today. Not likely that I will get many stitches into it, but we will see. Then we have, I'll show you my Mini Beachcomber Bounty by Amy Stewart. Stitch 1/1 on Aquamarine, 28 count Aquamarine. This was the piece I used for the January challenge in Full Coverage Fanatics for the Pony Express, which is part of the Epic Journey. So I had to get 3,000 and, let's see, let me grab my calendar here and tell me I had to get 3,057 stitches done on it in January, which I did. So here is where we are. This is what we have done. I said in the whip parade, I didn't realize until I took the Q-snaps off after that I had put in, over on this side, two little starfish here. You don't see the things until you take the Q-snap off and look back, which was pretty cool. And I'm pretty cool that I got 3,000 stitches in it in a month. February's challenge is only like 85 stitches, but I think March's challenge is like 6,000 stitches. So I don't know if I'll get that one completed. I'm going to try. Then we have, I'm going to skip that one and go down to the Mini Sunflower by Marion Broom, which is done 1/1 and 25 count daffodil. And I got 553 stitches in it. And yeah, I actually got more than the blah, 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 blah. Let's go back. Pretend I'm rewinding. I actually got, since our last video, 2,333 stitches in this one. And it's at 6.57%. Mini Sunflower, I got 553 stitches in it. And it's at 51.75%. So here we are. So I worked mostly like in this corner here, doing the browns and that, filling that in. Then Home for Christmas, which was my Christmas start, by Donna Gelsinger, and it's stitched 1/1 on 28 count ivory. And I got 1,507 stitches, and I'm at 1.09%. So here we are. So as you know, I started out diagonally. I found that and I don't think that you can see it on screen, that it's so confetti heavy in this corner. Let's get it up here. That it's kind of bumpy feeling because I had to start and stop so many threads. I'm hoping with a good stretching and a good washing and that at the end it'll come out. So instead I just picked a color. The one that, 452. It's the one that has the second most threads in it, because 817, which had the most, I could get at Michael's. But I finally got it. So I'm down to needing one color. $37.99, and I need 3 skeins of it, and neither Michael's has it in. I'm going to have to break down and go to Fabricville, which is a store that's here that's obviously a fabric store, but they do have DMC. It's just probably close to twice the price, but it's only 3 skeins, so I'm not concerned that much. So one of these days I'll break down. It's not in a very convenient place. It's not far from me. It's on one of our main drags of businesses and stores and that, and it's a lot of traffic, and it's in a little tiny corner of a building, and they have like maybe 10 parking spots. Not convenient at all. And so the last one I worked on was my Quaker flag, Canada flag by Vivian Powers. The Visters on Etsy, and I have 2 squares done, and I've started the 3rd one. There was a line of navy blue thread in between those 2. I took it out only because I'm not sure if I like the navy blue thread there. Like, there's no navy blue in the Canadian flag. I'm gonna wait and see if I can keep checking the hashtag on Instagram, 2024 Quaker flag sale, to see if someone that is stitching a flag that doesn't have blue in it stitches the blue line, if that makes sense. Like, the only one I've seen with a blue line is someone who's doing the Union Jack, but it has blue in it. So the blue works and makes sense. So I'm hoping someone with a flag that doesn't have blue in it, will post a picture so I can see what the blue looks like. Because I had only done the one line, and then I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then I spoke with Darlene Diane, and she's like, I'm not sure I'm doing the blue, and I'm like, I don't know. All the flags have blue in them, like between the motifs, so I want to see somebody else's. Anyway, and the reason I skipped that one and left it till last is because I mentioned in the last video that my friend Pam from Pam's Crafty Corner was doing the Republic of Newfoundland flag, which is not an official flag, but she had bought the Irish flag and was converting it to the Republic of Newfoundland flag, and I was thinking about doing it too after I got the Canadian one done, and somebody wanted to see the Republic of Newfoundland flag. So first I'm going to put up the pattern for the Irish flag, which is green, white, and orange. And then I'm going to put up a picture of the Republic of Newfoundland flag, which is green, white, and pink, and see how it's easy to convert. I tried to look up some of the history of the flag to tell you about it. It's, like, I don't want to turn this into a history lesson, but the earliest instance I could find of it were around the 1840s, was a story that it was created by a Catholic bishop to create some peace between either local Catholics and foreigners who were Catholic, or Catholics and Protestants, which I don't understand how that makes sense. And then somewhere else in the article I read said that there's no proof that that's what happened. But the earliest findings they could find of it were like in the 1890s on the music cover sheet from the Ode to Newfoundland, which is our unofficial anthem of Newfoundland. The green, white, and pink was there, and that it was used a lot by anti-Confederation people in the 1940s. But anyway, it's pretty popular around here that you see them flying around houses and on clothing and things like that. So anyway, that's sort of kind of the condensed version of it. So that's all my stitching. I have come up with a plan for February of days of the week that I'm going to stitch on different things. We'll see how long that lasts. But I thought if people are interested in it, I've come up with doing my Fanatics challenges, full coverage Fanatics challenges on Sundays. I'm going to work on mini sunflower on Mondays. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm going to spin my wheel. One day I'm going to spin a full coverage wheel. One day I'm going to spin a non-full coverage wheel. Thursdays, I'm going to work on the bucket sal. Fridays, I'm going to work on the Pinker and Pumpkin houses sal. And Saturdays, I'm going to work on my Quaker flag sal. I'm not sure how well that's going to go, but we will try. I had some haul come in since the last regular. Sorry, I forgot to get it. I just have to move over here for a second. You know me, I'm so not organized. One missing. So I had some Christmas money. So I got the next piece in my Cottage Gardens Time for All Seasons, which is going to be October 31st. And I got a piece of the same Winter Moon that I'm doing Strawberry Harvest on. But of course it won't look like this when I'm ready to stitch because I will have it done, didn't dye. And then I picked up 2 Valentine's patterns, which I may get to for next Valentine's. From Primrose Cottage, I got Hugs and Kisses, and it printed out like this, like a little booklet. Excuse me. That one. And I got Be Mine, which printed out like this. I have no idea why they printed out differently. But, so that was some of my haul. I still have a Michael's gift card to spend, and I can't decide what I want to spend it on. Other than thread, which seems like a waste of the gift card. So that's all. I think that's all. This is going to be really short today. Finally, I have the winners from my last anniversary whip parade, and the questions that they asked. So first up was Danny Bennett's lipstick, and I'm gonna comment on the comments from the whip parade. The winners, my email is always down in the description. Just send me an email with your address and I will get it out to you as soon as I can after you contact me. So the thread was won by Rowie Murphy. And she asked me what my favorite fabric count was. My favorite fabric count is 28 even weave. I'll stitch on linen, but I prefer even weave. Whether it's over 2 or over 1, 28 is always my go-to if I can do it. I've started stitching this past year on 36, my first few experiences with 36. I am enjoying it, but I would still do 28 over 36. So that's number 1. Number 2 was the fabric, and it was won by Kitmar. And Kitmar asked me what my favorite floss is. That's a hard one because I mean, 90% of what I stitched with DMC, and I'm fine with DMC. Overdyed, my favorite is Brennan Needle. This, my friend Patty and Cheryl. I love their thread. But, I mean, this is DMC, almost the same. It's just dyed. I have never stitched with silks, so I can't comment on silks. I am doing my first piece, the flag, with Sulky, and I have to say I'm really loving Sulky. I love the fact that it's one thread, and it's just so smooth. It just glides through the fabric. So that's kind of my thread. Now I'm going to skip number 3 and go to number 4, excuse me, because the question for number 4 and question from number 3 kind of follow after each other. So number 4 was the Carriage House Samplings, Acorns and Threads, and it was won by Roxanne Green. And Roxanne, I know, is here in Newfoundland, so it shouldn't take long for it to get to you. I believe she's won something before, but I don't think I still have your address. I don't think I haven't kept them. So Roxanne asked me, how did you get started stitching? I got started stitching when I was 18 or 19, I think somewhere around that age. My mom and I were visiting a friend of hers who had a daughter that was around my age, and they lived on our street actually. So we were there, and her daughter was there, and she was cross-stitching. And I had never seen cross-stitch before. My mom never stitched. My family were knitters or crocheters or craft. Like, my mom did a lot of pine cone craft things back in the 80s or 90s when that was popular. And My sister like made wreaths and sewed, but nobody in my family had ever cross stitched, and so I really wasn't like what she was doing, and I said, "How do you do that?" And she is the one who taught me how to cross stitch, and so that's how I began. So number 3, Christmas Winter Nights. Or Winter Nights, not Christmas Winter Nights. Winter Nights was won by Darlene Dion. And Darlene asked me what type of stitching I started with. Did I start with full coverage, or did I start with a different type of stitching? My first introduction to full coverage was Heaven and Earth Design in 2000s. So I did not start with full coverage, unless you think I was a lot younger than I am, but I'm not. So I brought, I showed a couple of these early in my videos, but for anyone who's new, I brought some of my early cross stitches to show. So they're on the floor here, so I have to reach down. So the very first cross stitch I ever did was, ta-da! Doesn't look centered. He looks like he's tipped. He should be more there. I can't tell you where it came from. My mom's friend's daughter gave it to me and helped me with, and gave me some thread, and yeah, that was my very first cross stitch. Then I kind of did things like, I was not into Precious Moments, but I was into Cherished Teddies. So I have that was a very early one. That was the very first time I ever put beads in anything. He has beads. Oh, she has beads in her flowers, and he has a little, that's supposed to be a heart, I think. Cherished Teddy. And I actually have this Cherished Teddy as well, the figurine. And then I did things like, I did birth announcements for my nephews when they were born, and you know, it was all, we had a store here in town called Knit and Stitch, which was sewing supplies and cross stitch and wool. And then we had Crafts Canada, and so it was Leisure Arts. And so this was one I did for my youngest nephew. And when he grew older and I had a son, then my sister gave it back to me, and now it's just sitting in my basement wall. So that was my first foray into stitching on black and the Dalmatians. And I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever done. And then I found Paula Vaughn. And I love Paula Vaughn. Paula Vaughn was very big in the 90s. And this is, I showed one in my first video, I think. But this is a different one. And I forgot to get the pattern out to see what the name of it was. For some reason, I think Tea, Roses, and Romance, but maybe that's wrong. So, ugh. So, there is. Oh, let me see. Yeah, there's Paula Vaughn, and that one was done. I think I put the date on it. 1995. So, lots and lots and lots of back stitching. And I did every single one I did on Aida. And oh, there's lots of quarter stitches and half stitches. And yeah. So that's the type of cross stitching I started with. And like I said, I didn't know anything about full coverage until probably 2000. Well, it wasn't long after Heaven and Earth Design started. I'm not sure what year that was, but I know it's in the 2000s. And that, I think, is everything. We'll see how my schedule goes. If my schedule goes well and I keep up my pace with it, I may be back in 2 weeks or maybe 3, but I will definitely try and stick to Wednesdays so that I know what day and you know what day I'll be here. Anyway, enjoy your day. Bye.